The truth of it is that the hospitality sector, by the government's own figures, are responsible for sub 2% of infections. It's far more dangerous going on a train, getting in a supermarket, going to work, or even going to hospital. And yet none of these places have to have the same requirements. And it also, really importantly, Nigel, the government's own scientific advice was that vaccine passports have very, very little effect on transmission rates. That's their own research for a multitude of reasons. And you sit there and kind of go, so your scientists have told you this probably won't work. You've hit this sector hard repeatedly without giving us any form of compensation. The insurance companies never paid out. We keep getting kicked into the long grass. Who are the first people that you go and kick yet again? It's our sector. We're all now paying back the vast loans we had to take out last year to survive. And even Boris and all his incompetent idiots leaking all this stuff to the press for the last 2 weeks has meant that I've lost about, 200,000 in bookings in the last 2 weeks. Add vaccine passports to that equation. And if we follow the trend in Wales and Scotland, you're looking at 25 to 30% drop in business, which is essentially pushing most clubs back into loss-making scenarios for no reason other than to make this incompetent buffoon look like he's doing something. And the visceral sense of anger right now is really difficult to cope with. This is someone whose staff or himself were partying in Downing Street when we were locked down, and now he's turned around and gone, I need to look good. What shall I do? Let's kick them in the backside and see what happens, even though his scientists are telling him it will have no effect. That makes me furious, Nigel, to be honest.
You do sound pretty angry, Alex. How difficult is it, in practical terms, on the door of a nightclub to check these vaccine passports? And how do your people know they're not looking at fake certificates?
Well, we know, obviously, from the whole Wembley fiasco of the European Cup final, that it doesn't really work. That when you're looking at mobile phones, they're incredibly easy to scam. It's incredibly easy to have a fake app on your phone. In most nightclubs, you might be letting 500 to 1,000 or to 2,000 people in. They're all in a queue together. What, are we going to socially distance? What are we doing? It's going to be like one of those plague films. What happens when someone hasn't got it? They've already sat in the queue for an hour to get in. The whole thing, practically speaking, you're right, is a nonsense. And the ability to scam it or to fraudulently cheat the system is incredibly easy and will occur. It makes a mockery of it, even if you agree with it, even if you think it's a good idea. In practical terms, it won't work, and we've shown that time and time again to the government. I think the government scientists themselves know that.